Our friend Brian asked Bill to help shed some light on his driveway.
We received no compensation for the mention of or appearance of products or companies in this video. Brian got a great deal on some LED porch lights that would replace the incandescent fixtures on his front porch and his one driveway light. But he needed more light, so he asked me to install an additional light on the other side of the garage doors. There was no electric junction box there, and also there was no wiring. So this is just one way to accomplish this. I started by drilling a hole through the stucco at the center of where the new box would go, and through the plywood on the inside. On the inside I had full access, and so I used a 3.5-inch hole saw to cut the hole in the plywood, as specified out by the instructions for the junction box. Now here I'm going to point out that what they tell you at the home store is not always correct. They told me that I could use this same hole saw to cut through the stucco as well. Wrong. It dulled the brand new saw in the first 1/8 of an inch. So I went with my backup plan to just drill a bunch of holes with a masonry bit, then hammer the section out. This required a few extra hits here and there to get the final size right, but it worked out well. After I got the box in place, I put the screws through the mounting holes and went on the inside to attach the bracket. Since the wall is over 1 inch thick, I had to cut off some of the tabs to make the bracket fit. I just used tin snips to do this. This box is designed for ceilings, but since the wall is solid, it worked out well. Once the bracket was in place with the screws started, I went outside and started screwing them tight. But of course one screw slipped off, but that was easy to fix because the other one was holding the bracket in place. This is where I could have used a helper to hold things. Then I just pushed the romex wire through the retaining opening in the box and went outside to connect up the light. With the wire in place, I attached the bracket that came with the light. This bracket allows you to attach the light fixture to wall boxes that are not square to the edge of the wall. Once it is attached to the box, I just used a level to align the movable part of the bracket, then tighten it down. In this case, the bracket wouldn't hold solid, but some sealant around the outside of the fixture after it's installed will prevent it from twisting. Next, I cut away the cover of the romex over the wires and attached the ground wire to the provided ground screw on the bracket. The bracket allows for different thicknesses of light fixture, so these screws can also be adjusted to the correct length, then secured with the lock nuts. Then I stripped the insulation from the black and white wires to connect to the new light fixture. I twisted the ground wires together and used a wire nut to hold them together. With that in place, I could let go of the fixture as it would hang from the ground wires without any damage. The white wire to the white wire, and the black wire goes to the black wire. With the wire nuts in place, I then stuff the wire nuts and the wires into the box, while there is room in the back of the fixture to hold the wire nuts and wire. This keeps it more secure. Then I just slide the fixture onto the studs and put the decorative nuts on that hold it in place. Since the decorative nuts are too small for my thick fingers, I tighten them carefully with pliers. Then I use my level to check the alignment of the fixture. Back on the inside of the garage, I needed to secure the romex cable. This is in an unfinished corner of the garage, and so the wires could be just attached to the studs with clips. I like these clips because they have 2 nails and are easier to drive than staples. There was a flex conduit already in place leading to the circuit breaker box, so I passed the romex through a plastic box, then the conduit. This way I can have the wires pass into the flex and not chafe against the edges of the existing box. Then another clip to hold the wires in place. In the breaker box, I cut the romex to length and cut away the cover. The connections are basic to AC boxes. White goes to the neutral bus bar. The bare wire to the ground bus bar. And the black wire goes to a breaker. I didn't have the option of shutting down this whole box, just the breakers I was working with. So I put on double gloves to help protect from accidental contact with live circuits. With the connections made, I turn on the circuit and we have light. Brian is very happy with the additional light, and the LEDs are actually brighter than the compact fluorescent bulbs that he had been using.
Thanks for watching our video. If you like what you see, press the like button below and subscribe. And also check out our other videos.